Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Intentional Living podcast. Marty Keller here in Sacramento, dialoguing with my friend and mentor John Donovan in Oceanside. Good afternoon, John.
Hey, Marty.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's
Oh, good.
been a great week, and learned a lot, and intend to learn more.
Good. Me too.
If you're joining us for the first time, the Intentional Living podcast focuses on breaking patterns of behavior, things I do when that I say I don't want to be doing, and
Mhm.
nonetheless do them anyway. Um, like, have you ever hurt someone that you loved and then later regretted it, and then hurt them again in pretty much the same way? Or have you ever found yourself in the middle of an argument, recognizing that realizing that the position you're taking is wrong and continue to take it anyway? Or
Yep.
have you ever known you were about to do or say something that you would regret? Maybe even heard a little voice in your head saying, don't do that. And yet you found yourself unable or unwilling to stop? Well, these
Correct.
are compulsive behaviors that all human beings find ourselves subject to. And in this podcast, we examine and look at ways to make those subconscious tendencies, emotional dynamics conscious, and to befriend them, learn to use them to create something different, to create something that we may want to manifest in our conscious lives, and so that we become, at least in as I've done this practice, we start to realize that these compulsions are not our enemies, but they're potentially our friends, and they're
Right.
there to teach me something. And what we do here in the intentional living practice, and the meetings that we sponsor 4 times a week, and in this podcast, we examine what those things are and how we can befriend them and make them our allies. Because every human being just wants to create and enjoy the life that he or she was put on this planet to do. And what I didn't know until I got into this practice, is that I'm in charge of that. And my
Mhm.
choices are mine to make. And I can choose to have behaviors that don't work for me, which I did for most of the years of my life, or I can learn what those are about and do something different.
There you go. Yeah.
So, John, you and I have been looking at a series of principles that we have developed over the course of our experience together doing this work. These principles are ideas, thoughts, injunctions, illuminations to help us understand both this practice, this process, and what we can learn about ourselves in our subconscious. I'm going to put them up here on the share screen so that our viewers can see what the heck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we've got a number of them. I think there's about 16 of them. When we started this, we just had six, starting with I'm always getting what I want. It's never about the other person. And we've gone through with John and I, you and I have done some podcasts on each one of these,
Hmm.
starting last November. And so viewers who would like to learn about any of them, starting at the beginning, you can go to the podcast called I'm Always Getting What I Want. And we went through all of these. Some of them we did 2 podcasts on because we found that what we had to say about it wasn't the time frame of half an hour wasn't adequate. Um,
Right.
and last week we did, so we're near the bottom. And by the way, these don't have value based on what came first. If it's first, it doesn't mean it's best or the most important. It just means that we put it there first.
Right.
So all of these things have equal value as insights for us. So last week we spent some time talking about the more conscious we are of what we choose, the more powerful the choice. That's the one we talked about last week. And so
Yeah.
we're going to move on to this one. This says every thought has a corresponding body sensation. Every thought has a corresponding body sensation. What does that say to you, John? Why would we have that as a principle?
Um, when I ask people, how do you feel like in a situation, I just don't go up to somebody and say, oh, how do you feel? Maybe I might feel a friend or, but in the context of the group, what's the feeling in your body? Most people tell me what they think.
Right.
I think I'm uncomfortable. Well, if you think you're uncomfortable, how do you feel? So that thought of discomfort has a corresponding body sensation. If I have a thought, oh, I feel comfortable and safe, that thought has a corresponding body sensation. One of the things I learned in Adult Children of Alcoholics 12 step is that we recreate family of origin dysfunction, childhood trauma, body chemistry.
Yep.
Okay. So the body chemistry that I was immersed in my childhood for the most part, and there were times where we enjoyed each other and we went on trips and had fun and talked and played. It wasn't all what I traumatic. The ones that um, were in my body, and I'm talking also about pre-verbal, traumas that happened before I could learn how to speak, or and that's nonverbal, and then or is that pre-verbal? Anyway,
Or
before I
both.
could learn how to speak, and then even after I learned how to speak, I still didn't. I couldn't articulate what was going on inside. I would go into the body chemistry. I would go into in a trauma where I had, and we're talking about trauma for children. If somebody's yelling at them and they don't understand why, they can't stop and go, wait a minute, I need help here. I'm going to go over to my neighbor and talk to my neighbor about what's going on here so I can like kind of figure this stuff out, or have the ability to be proactive. They were stuck in the trauma. So it got lodged in the body as chemistry. Anytime somebody is threatened or traumatized, the body produces adrenaline or some type of cortisoid or stressor. Um, I'm not sure about the body chemistry that you need to completely leave your body. I'm thinking it's some form of um, what did I just say?
Fight, flight, freeze,
Please,
secretion.
and well, it's how come I can't remember? It's what's the chemical? It's I just
Adrenaline.
said it. Adrenaline. Okay, I just ooh.
I was having
Okay.
adrenaline trying to remember your words.
Yeah. Okay, so the adrenaline enables me to leave my body so that whatever I can keep myself safe from the trauma.
Right.
That unresolved trauma. So what it says is we recreate family of origin body chemistry. So a trigger happens in a relationship where I feel attacked. I think I'm being attacked. Well, I feel attacked is not the feeling. The feeling is fight, flight, freeze, please. Feeling tone in the body. And it's a frequency. I think I'm being attacked is a thought that creates this body chemistry. Now, if somebody's screaming and yelling at me, and I go, oh, they must be wanting something, and I'm lucid, and I go, oh, I can hear you. I see you're upset. I'm in my body chemistry of healing, or you might call it serotonin, where I'm lucid, and I'm not seeing that as an attack. I'm seeing the person in stress, so I can offer assistance. Okay, that's body chemistry. Every thought, and if people do what do they call EEGs, and they put all the stickers on the head, and then they map the thought, and it's like different frequencies, different places, and it actually creates a line on a piece of paper.
Right.
That's something. That's a manifestation. So when I'm thinking I'm being attacked, my body responds with the chemistry in alignment with attack, which in my case and my experience is adrenaline, fight. And I, as an adult, mainly went to fight or flight. I'm out of here. As a child, I would freeze. There were times in my adulthood where I would freeze, or what we call fawning. And fawning is just when a baby deer just drops and they don't have any scent and they don't move. That fawning, that's like disappearing. Um, and that all those body chemistry has some level of adrenaline. So my thought isn't a feeling, but we've taken the word feel, replaced it with we've taken the word thought and replaced it with feel, and then we think that's the reality. Like, I feel like you're attacking me. No, that's a thought. The goal of unresolved trauma is to stay out of your body. That's what we learned as children, is not to go into our body. Because when I was feeling excited, somebody said, "Who do you think you are? Can't you settle down? Aren't you ever going to behave yourself? What's the matter with you? How come you broke that?" All that stuff. So I learned to get out of my body, and then what I replaced it was adrenaline, where I would like comply, fight, flight, freeze, please. Usually for me as a child, it was freeze, depending on the level of trauma and what was happening in my home. So when I grown up, the and this is something I struggle with when I feel like that person just attacked me. Well, no, wait a minute. If you can take that, I feel that person like that person just attacked me, and replace it with think, and it still makes sense, it's not a feeling. I feel like that person attacked me. Oh, no, wait a minute. I think that person is attacking me. Oh, that still makes sense. Now, if you say an emotion, I think sad. No, you don't think sad. You feel sad. So I feel sad. You can't replace that with I think sad. No, no, it's a body. It's a frequency. This is a feeling. I'm not talking about the five sense feeling: see, hear, taste, touch, smell, touch. You're feeling, but you're feeling something on the outside of you, like rough, smooth, hot, cold, a texture. The feeling I'm talking about is a sense inside about your well-being. How safe are you? How not safe you are, and that's a body chemistry. Um, People, children who rock, some of the material I've been reading, and I can't point to the source, but rocking creates serotonin. So that's the body's way of calming down. They do this tapping thing. People, I haven't done it myself, but this tapping thing, and that's like getting into the body, tapping, noticing the body, and then thinking a thought, and then bringing it into a feeling, which is reconciling and becoming with yourself and not tapping. So this goes into the way I talk about myself, the way I think about myself, the way I believe about myself manifests in real time. So what's an example of that? If in my subconscious I got the message that I wasn't enough or a burden, and somebody says something to me about they're irritated with me, I go right to I'm a burden without any like check in or wait a minute, what do you mean by that? Or can I help
Right.
you? Or I go right to the body sensation and I think that person's being disrespectful. If I think that person's being disrespectful, see, we want to get to what it felt like when you believed you were a burden or somebody told you you were a burden. What that sad, hurt, afraid, hurt, that hurt. Oh, the subconscious is in the realm of timelessness. So if I bring up an old feeling, um, I don't have a picture or details or words to describe it. And if I go, I'm feeling hurt, and I don't have a rational reason to like feel it right here, except maybe you or me guiding somebody through a process. I feel sad. Okay, feel that. Your subconscious is right now. So as I'm recognizing the sad, which was new for me as an adult, it's like I had no idea feelings. What the good are they anyway? It's like I was told, don't cry, don't be a sissy, don't feel, and then the trauma reinforced that. And I go into a therapy session, and the first thing the counselor would ask me is, "How do you feel?" And I'm thinking, "What the hell's that got to do with anything? Please tell me what to do. Tell me how to navigate this, and I'll just do it, and I'll be out of your way. I'll be out of your hair." And the resolution was in my inability to sense pain, hurt, afraid, caution, concern. These were all unfamiliar to me. I was in the fix it mode. I was in the critical mode. Oh, I must be weak if I'm feeling this, or I owned that I was arrogant and mean, and people would say to me, when you do stuff like that, that hurts, like an arrogant or I dismiss somebody, and I would wonder, what are you talking about? You asked me a question. I told you what to do, and now you're until Marty. Um, I was in one of these processes, and I owned my arrogance, and I got, oh my God, that's my dad. Oh my God, I stood in front of him, and he had his finger in my nose, an inch from my nose, saying, "You're the shame of the family." Well, you know what? That hurt. Uh, that hurt. And it was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. I had no idea that this was what they were talking about. It was in here. And that realization, my first thought was, I don't want to do this to people. No, this hurts. But I didn't understand when people were saying, "Oh, that hurt." It's like, I don't. What are you talking about? Hurt? You either get it or you don't. What's the problem? It's like I don't. So, in this principle we have, every thought has a corresponding body sensation, enables us to get into this conversation where we get into the details of what's really going on here, or address a, a thought or a possibility that we had no idea that we needed to address. What do you mean? Every thought has a course. What are you talking about? Corresponding body sensation. And now we're in this conversation, and this is a conversation I got into along the way so that I could understand that the therapist was asking me, what's my internal state? How am I? Am I in trauma? Am I distressed? Am I feeling depressed? And what's going on internally? It's like, I don't know what to talk to you. But see, that points me, knowing where I'm at in the feeling space, knowing where I'm at gives me options to go someplace else, to look for something else, or ask for resolution, or listen to learn and grow.
Yeah, there's so much to this one. So picking up with where you just left off, what occurs to me is that um, another thing that we're getting at here is that the body and the mind are basically two dimensions of the single organism.
Right.
And that thought and feeling, body and mind are so intimately interconnected that the truth is there's only one thing going on.
Right.
And the human mind has evolved to make it seem like there's two things going on.
Correct.
And so
And
it's
therein, go ahead.
and so therefore we have the power of dissociation,
Yep.
that we can actually believe that there isn't a corresponding body sensation to every thought.
Correct.
And we can actually create the experience of no experience through
Correct.
dissociation, through other ways that the mind has, the way our minds can manage the secretions of adrenaline or cortisols or all dopamine, all those wonderful chemicals that produce feeling or block feeling.
Correct.
We can even
Correct.
apply things like hypnosis to block feeling. So the human mind has the power to pretend that the body mind are not one organism. And so
Hmm.
what and because of the childhood trauma, nobody, particularly a little critter, 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old who's feeling violence of any kind, does not want to have that experience and will do anything to get out of it, has this mind thing that is capable of creating blockages against the feeling
Right.
or to dissociate. And so we learn early on with this body mind to get out of the unity and to get into
Hmm.
separateness and dissociation. And so
Hmm.
for me, what the intentional living practice has done has invited me to reintegrate my body and mind, to begin to appreciate that if I have a crazy thought, or see, even I use the word crazy, isn't that interesting? If I have a thought that is uh,
Discordant.
discordant, uncomfortable,
Yeah.
I'm trained now through the intentional living process to go, okay, so what's my feeling?
Yep.
And that, as we talked about in the Trust the Body podcast that we did a couple weeks ago, that's where solution is, not because
Hmm.
I'm dissociated, but because that's where I can reunify body mind by going into the feeling first.
Yeah. And it's
And
the Jung's shadow stuff too. Yeah.
indeed, and as the
Yeah.
accountability tree practice is always about getting me to that feeling,
Hmm.
just to feel it, not and
Hmm.
to even notice if I use a word, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm actually using a thought. Sad is a thought, angry is a thought. The
Hmm.
feeling is the feeling in the body.
Right. Yes.
And so oftentimes as facilitators, we'll even discourage people using words, just ask them to
Correct.
feel,
Just
because even
be
the
with it.
word can help dissociate me from the feeling.
Okay. So the feeling, which is a frequency, a physical
Right.
frequency. Okay. So it's resonating in your body, has the information I need to move to my well-being.
Right.
So experiencing hurt, that had the information for me to make the decision to be kind and not hurt. But if I hadn't, like, the information in there um, was uh, that's what happened to me, and I dissociate. Okay, no, no, that hurt. Oh, and it gives options. It's it's the where you are. My one of my teachers said 3 questions to be in the present moment. Who are you? Where are you? What do you want? Well, the who I am is in that exercise. The 3 words: gentle, loving, empowering man. I am a spiritual being. Okay. Where am I? Oh, stuck in trauma. Oh, unresolved trauma. I'm manifesting from unresolved trauma, which has created a belief system of attack or I'm a victim. And if the belief is I'm a victim, then that's how I end up as the result. And I have proof that you're victimizing me, instead of understanding that I'm empowered to move to proaction no matter what anybody else is doing. I can tell them to stop. I can move away. I can call a friend. I have resources. As a child, I had no resources. So that reality, that was the reality. They were victims. That now become the belief of the adult. And it's no longer, it's not the reality of the adult. Every adult has choice, and can move to resolution, be proactive, or find a resource for help. Okay. So we're reestablishing our adulthood by looking at unresolved trauma that created, I'm going to use 5 words: arrogance, entitlement, meanness, control, the need to control everything, and a neediness. I need you to be okay so I feel okay. Like,
Right.
oh, okay, neediness. Yeah.
I need the universe to take care of me.
Right.
So that I wanted to just pick up on what you were saying and point out that part of the reason that we have this can be hard work is because the body chemistry period of our lives, 0 to 4, before
Yep.
the thinking mind lights up,
Right.
becomes the training ground for the thinking mind.
Yes.
So when I start thinking, I've automatically been programmed to be defensive, to be
Yep.
fearful, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the defense that little Marty figured out how to find out where's that little sweet spot where I can feel safest in a place where I have no other recourse.
Correct.
I don't have anybody I can go to and say, help me.
Right.
My parents scare the shit out of me.
Right.
So I had to do that on the inside. And that thing, so for me, it was hypervigilance. It was generating stress and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
so that I could control. Goes to what you were
Right.
saying about controlling. Um, that then trained my thinking awareness, so that as I started thinking, I was already programmed to think in terms of supporting the the chemistry, emotional chemistry of my childhood environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so when we come to recovery, we're seeking to retrain the thought processes which require emotion, because the thought process and emotion they're bound together.
Yeah.
So that's again the beauty of the accountability tree practice. How am I feeling? What do I want? I want, and I think I've been trained by you as a facilitator that when I ask someone to identify what he or she wants, I basically say, how do you want to feel? So that the first thing we do is we want to feel something different from rage, anger, shame. Oh, I want to feel happy.
Okay.
I want to feel joyful. I want to feel ecstatic. So we don't train the mind first. We go to reframe the emotional body, the emotional chemistry
Mm-hmm.
of the situation. I intend to be happy. I intend to be joyful. I intend to be at ease. I intend to be at peace. I intend to be calm. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then out of that, we say, I intend to trust myself. I intend to love myself. I intend to treat myself with exquisite tenderness.
Yeah.
All those things. So
Mm-hmm.
because the body and the mind are one thing, we can work with the thoughts, and when we work with the thoughts, they'll automatically have an analog in the thinking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's part of the amazing power of the tree process, because it treats the body and mind as one thing, and
Yeah.
seeks to create the awareness of that by always bringing us to the feeling first. What do I feel?
Right. Right. Yeah. Blame free, judgment free. No
Correct.
blame, no judgment. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Blame free, judgment free is the field of unconditional love. uh, unconditional attending to. No, oh, you're wrong, or this is, or you're just no, that's true for you, whatever that truth is.
Right.
I see that. Um, and then that truth, like I'm arrogant, uncovers the motivation and the lie I was told that manifested the arrogance. That's what I feel resonates. Heal, and then I say I intend to be kind, and it's like you shift a timeline. It's like something starts happening differently now because you've addressed the subconscious. You've reframed. Whatever happened to anybody is always going to have happened to them. It's our perception and healing of that that shifts. It changes the belief. It changes how we perceive the world. The filter from which we view the world shifts along with the healing. And I'm what I call lucid in the moment and at choice. And that was one of the things we talked about earlier, is that the consciousness of my choices determine the quality, whatever that is, power of my capacity to choose.
The
So
focus of my attention determines the quality of my life,
there you go.
is the principle. Before we wrap up, I want to also just make a point that what we're talking about here is not unique to us.
No.
There's been a whole strain of human inquiry going all the way back to the earliest days of civilization that assumed the body and the mind were one thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that in the modern period, you have in the New Thought world, I go to the Unity Church, which is part of New Thought, but Christian Science, all these things are predicated on the healing the body starts with changing the thoughts about the body.
Correct.
Because the body and the mind are one thing. So
Correct.
if I think I'm sick, will I manifest illness?
Yep.
All the placebo studies have demonstrated the power of the mind to create healing in the body just through thinking that the medication I'm taking is effective.
Yep. Exactly.
So we're not talking about some unique weird thing that only you and I have discerned. We've actually taken our
Right.
understanding of this that many human beings have studied in
Mm-hmm.
both in
Mm-hmm.
a medical situation or other esoteric traditions,
Mm-hmm.
mystical traditions. There's only one thing going on, and we've talked about this before. We don't have a word for the body mind as a unit.
Right.
The closest we can come up with is body mind,
Right.
kind of like Einstein did with space time. It, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it tells the truth. It's about the body and the mind as one in one word, but it doesn't really, because the English language has those as being two separate things. So um, I intend to find a good word for body mind. See what happens.
Okay. I'm with you. If I
Okay.
come up with something, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
somebody out there, if you've got a good word for body mind, let
Yep.
us know in the comments. We appreciate that. So
Okay.
as we come to the end of our time together on this one, a lot more could be said. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Um, come share some time with us in one of those Zoom groups, and hopefully if you're confused about some of the stuff we said or want to participate with us, come to one of the meetings, see what we do and see how we do it. See if there's any value in that for you. So,
And if you want to do that, information on the times and the Zoom addresses are all on Zoom. 4 times a week, 4 different days, different times of the day. We're at the beginning of the podcast, and they'll also be at the end. So please feel free to check them out and come join us. If you have questions in the meantime, like I said, or thoughts, insights, leave them in the comments to the YouTube video here, and we'll be happy to follow up with you. So with that, I thank you very much, as always, for your time, John, and I'll look forward to our next discussion as we come to the end of the accountability principles.
You got it.
Take care.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, thank you.